In the far reaches of the Andromeda Galaxy, there exists a planet known as Tarithia. Its lush landscapes and diverse ecosystems make it a haven for countless species, both sentient and non-sentient. Among these species are the Gorlaxians, a race renowned for their physical prowess and formidable strength. For millennia, they have ruled over Tarithia, their might and combat skills ensuring their dominance. I am Zarvok, a Gorlaxian warrior of notable repute. My life has been one of unending training, battles, and the pursuit of physical perfection. Among my kind, I am considered one of the strongest, a paragon of our race's capabilities. Yet despite my strength, there has always been a nagging emptiness, a void that no amount of physical achievement could fill. Our society revered strength above all else. It was our currency, our measure of worth. From a young age, we were taught that to be strong was to be valuable, to be weak was to be worthless. This belief was deeply ingrained in us, shaping our identities and our destinies. One fateful day, our scanners detected an unknown ship entering our atmosphere. It was unlike any vessel we had seen before, sleek and elegant, with a design that suggested advanced technology. The ship landed in the dense forests of the Cerulean region, an area known for its treacherous terrain and dangerous wildlife. As one of our top warriors, I was dispatched to investigate. With my armor glistening in the sunlight and my weapon at the ready, I ventured into the forest, my senses alert for any signs of danger or the unknown visitors. It didn't take long for me to find the ship. It was a marvel of engineering, its metallic surface shimmering with an almost ethereal glow. As I approached, the hatch opened, and out stepped a figure unlike any I had ever encountered. It was a human, a species known to us through interstellar communications but rarely seen on Tarithia. The human was of average height, with a lean build and an air of quiet confidence. His eyes, a deep shade of blue, seemed to take in everything around him with a calm, measured gaze. He wore a suit of advanced material, clearly designed for both protection and mobility. "Greetings," he said, his voice carrying a warmth and friendliness that caught me off guard. "I am Captain John Mercer of the Earth Exploration Fleet. I come in peace." I studied him, my instincts telling me that this human, despite his unassuming appearance, was not to be underestimated. "I am Zarvok of the Gorlaxians," I replied, my tone measured and cautious. "What brings you to our planet, human?" Captain Mercer smiled, a gesture that seemed genuine and devoid of malice. "We are explorers, seeking knowledge and understanding of the universe and its many inhabitants. Our mission is one of peace and cooperation." His words were unexpected. In our culture, strength was often demonstrated through confrontation and displays of power. Yet here was a being who spoke of peace and cooperation, concepts that were foreign to our way of life. As we spoke, I couldn't help but notice the way he moved, the way he carried himself. There was a grace and fluidity to his actions, a quiet strength that belied his appearance. It was then that I began to realize that strength was not merely a measure of physical power, but something deeper, something more profound. Over the next few days, Captain Mercer and his crew established a base camp near their ship. They began to study the flora and fauna of our planet, taking great care to respect the natural environment. I watched them closely, curious about their methods and their motivations. One evening, as the sun set over the horizon, casting a golden glow over the forest, Captain Mercer approached me. "Zarvok," he said, "would you care to join me for a walk? There is something I wish to show you." I hesitated for a moment, but my curiosity got the better of me. I nodded, and we set off into the forest, the sounds of the nocturnal creatures creating a symphony around us. As we walked, Mercer spoke of his home, Earth, and its diverse cultures and peoples. He described the beauty of its landscapes, the ingenuity of its inhabitants, and the challenges they faced. His words painted a vivid picture of a world both similar and vastly different from my own. Eventually, we reached a clearing where the trees parted to reveal a stunning view of the night sky. The stars shone brightly, their light reflecting off a nearby lake. It was a sight that took my breath away. "Strength," Mercer said, breaking the silence, "is not just about physical power. It's about resilience, adaptability, and the ability to overcome adversity. It's about knowing when to fight and when to seek peace. True strength lies in understanding and embracing these qualities. His words resonated deeply within me. For the first time, I began to see that our obsession with physical strength had blinded us to other forms of power, forms that were just as important, if not more so. As the days turned into weeks, I spent more time with Mercer and his crew. I learned about their technologies, their philosophies, and their ways of life. Slowly, my perception of strength began to shift. I saw the value in cooperation, in understanding, and in the pursuit of knowledge. The day came when Captain Mercer and his crew were ready to leave. As their ship prepared for departure, Mercer approached me one last time. "Zarvok," he said, "remember what we've talked about. Strength is more than what we can see or touch. It's a force that comes from within, a force that can change worlds." I nodded, feeling a sense of gratitude and respect for this human who had shown me a new way of seeing the world. As their ship ascended into the sky, I felt a profound sense of transformation. My journey was far from over, but I now had a new understanding of what it truly meant to be strong. And so, I returned to my people, determined to share the lessons I had learned. It would not be easy, and there would be resistance, but I knew that true strength lay in the pursuit of a greater understanding and the willingness to embrace change. The Gorlaxian Council Chamber was a vast, imposing structure carved into the side of Mount Theric. Its walls were adorned with tapestries depicting our greatest warriors and their most legendary battles. As I entered, the eyes of my fellow council members turned toward me, their expressions a mix of curiosity and skepticism. "Zarvok," intoned High Commander Thrak, his voice echoing through the chamber. "What news do you bring from the encounter with the humans?" I stood tall, my mind racing with the lessons I had learned from Captain Mercer. The humans seek knowledge and understanding. They speak of strength not just in physical terms, but as a quality that encompasses resilience, adaptability, and the pursuit of peace. A murmur of dissent rippled through the council. "Peace? Resilience? What nonsense is this?" scoffed General Varrock, a towering figure known for his brutal combat tactics. "Strength is proven on the battlefield, in the clash of steel and the cries of victory." "Is it?" I challenged, my voice steady. "The humans have shown me that there is more to strength than mere physical dominance. They have thrived through cooperation, through innovation, and through their ability to adapt to new challenges." The council members exchanged uneasy glances. Thrak leaned forward, his eyes narrowing. "What proof do you have of these claims, Zarvok?" Before I could respond, a sudden tremor shook the chamber. Alarms blared as the ground beneath us rumbled ominously. "An attack!" shouted Varrock, reaching for his weapon. "No," I said, my voice cutting through the chaos. "This is something else." We rushed outside, where the sky had darkened with an unnatural hue. A massive rift had opened in the heavens, crackling with energy. From it emerged a fleet of sleek, menacing ships unlike any I had ever seen. "Intruders!" bellowed Thrak. "Prepare for battle." As our warriors mobilized, I felt a cold dread settle over me. These ships were not Gorlaxian, nor did they belong to any species we had encountered before. They moved with a precision and speed that spoke of advanced technology far beyond our own. One of the ships descended rapidly, landing in the central square of our city. Its hatch opened, and out stepped a figure clad in dark armor, its face obscured by a helmet. It spoke in a voice that seemed to resonate in my very bones. "We are the Sorith," it announced. "Your planet and its resources now belong to us. Submit or be annihilated." The arrogance in its tone sparked a fierce anger within me. "We will never submit to invaders," I shouted, stepping forward. "We are the Gorlaxians, and we will defend our home to the last." A cruel laugh echoed from the Sorith leader. "Very well. Let your defiance be your undoing." With a swift motion, it raised its arm, and a beam of energy shot forth, striking the ground at my feet. The explosion sent me sprawling, my ears ringing from the blast. As I struggled to rise, I saw our warriors charging at the Sorith ships, their weapons raised in a desperate bid to repel the invaders. But the Sorith were prepared. Energy shields deflected our attacks, and their return fire was devastating. Gorlaxian after Gorlaxian fell, their cries of pain mingling with the sounds of destruction. In the midst of the chaos, a flash of light caught my eye. It was Captain Mercer's ship, descending rapidly from the sky. The human vessel landed with a precision that spoke of urgency. The hatch opened and Mercer emerged, his expression grim. "Zarvok," he shouted, running towards me. "We need to work together if we're going to survive this." I nodded, accepting his outstretched hand. "What do you propose, Mercer?" He gestured towards his ship. "We have technology that can disrupt their shields, but we'll need to get close enough to deploy it. Can your warriors create a diversion?" I glanced at Thrak, who had taken command of the defense. "High Commander, we need to create a distraction to allow the humans to deploy their technology. It's our best chance." Thrak's eyes blazed with determination. "Do it," he ordered. "All units, focus your fire on their lead ship." As our forces regrouped and concentrated their attacks, Mercer and I sprinted towards his ship. Inside, his crew was already preparing the device, a compact but powerful emitter designed to scramble the Sorith shields. "Ready?" Mercer asked, his hand poised over the controls. "Do it," I replied, bracing myself. With a flick of a switch, the emitter activated, sending out a pulse of energy that rippled through the battlefield. The Sorith ship's shields flickered and then collapsed, leaving them vulnerable. "Now!" I roared, and our warriors surged forward with renewed vigor. Without their shields, the Sorith ships began to take damage, their sleek surfaces scarred by our relentless assault. Mercer and I joined the fray, our combined forces pushing the invaders back. The Sorith leader, seeing their advantage slipping away, attempted to rally its troops, but it was too late. In a final desperate move, it charged at us, its weapon raised. I met its attack head-on, our weapons clashing in a shower of sparks. The force of the blow sent a shockwave through my body, but I held my ground. Mercer's voice echoed in my mind, reminding me of the strength that lay within. With a roar, I struck the Sorith leader with all my might, my weapon cutting through its armor. It staggered back, a look of disbelief on its face as it crumpled to the ground. The remaining Sorith, seeing their leader defeated, began to retreat. Their ships lifted off, vanishing back into the rift from whence they came. A cheer erupted from our ranks as the last of the invaders disappeared. Thrak approached, his expression a mix of pride and relief. "We have won, thanks to you and the humans, Zarvok." I looked at Mercer, who was tending to his wounded crew. "No, High Commander. We won because we understood that true strength comes from unity and cooperation." As the sun rose over Tirithia, casting its golden light over the battlefield, I felt a sense of hope for the future. We had faced a formidable enemy and emerged victorious, not through brute force alone, but through the strength of our combined will and the courage to embrace a new way of thinking. And so, a new chapter began for the Gorlaxians, one where strength was measured not just by our muscles, but by our hearts and minds. The aftermath of the battle left our city in ruins, but the spirit of the Gorlaxians remained unbroken. As we worked to rebuild, a newfound sense of purpose united us. The Sorith threat had shown us the importance of innovation and cooperation, and for the first time, our people began to look beyond our traditional ways. Captain Mercer and his crew stayed to assist with the reconstruction. Their advanced technology and expertise proved invaluable. I spent my days coordinating efforts with Thrak and Mercer, and my nights learning about human history and their remarkable resilience. One evening, as we sat around a makeshift campfire, Mercer shared stories of Earth's greatest challenges and triumphs. His tales of overcoming adversity, of uniting in the face of danger, resonated deeply with me. It was clear that humanity's strength lay not just in their technology, but in their indomitable spirit. "Zarvok," Mercer said, his voice thoughtful, "there is something I haven't shared with you yet. Our mission here is not just about exploration. We were sent to find allies against a common threat. The Sorith are a scourge across many worlds." I listened intently, the weight of his words sinking in. "You believe they will return?" Mercer nodded. "They always do. They are relentless in their pursuit of conquest. But with your people's strength and our technology, we can form a formidable alliance. The idea of an alliance was unprecedented. For generations, the Gorlaxians had prided themselves on their independence, relying solely on their physical prowess. Yet the recent battle had shown us the limitations of our approach. "How do we prepare?" I asked, determination hardening my resolve. "First, we need to understand their technology better," Mercer replied. "We salvaged parts of their ships after the battle. With your help, we can analyze and develop countermeasures." The following days were spent in intense collaboration. Human engineers and Gorlaxian warriors worked side by side, dismantling and studying the Sorith technology. It was a grueling process, but the progress we made was astonishing. One afternoon, while examining a particularly complex piece of Sorith machinery, I had an idea. What if we could integrate some of their technology into our own weapons and defenses? Mercer looked up, intrigued. "Explain." "The Sorith rely heavily on their energy shields. If we could develop weapons that can bypass or disrupt those shields, we would have a significant advantage." Mercer nodded slowly. "It's a brilliant idea. We have similar technology on our ship. With some modifications, we could create hybrid weapons that combine the best of both our technologies." The project became our top priority. Workshops buzzed with activity as we fused Gorlaxian craftsmanship with human ingenuity. Weeks turned into months, and slowly but surely, our efforts bore fruit. During one of our many late-night sessions, Mercer and I discussed the future. "Zarvok, there's something else we need to consider. The Sorith are not just a military threat. They infiltrate and destabilize societies from within." I frowned. "You mean they use subterfuge and deception?" "Exactly. We need to be vigilant, to strengthen not just our defenses but our society as a whole. Unity is our greatest weapon against them." Mercer and I assembled a strike team, a blend of Gorlaxian warriors and human soldiers. Our mission was to intercept and neutralize the threat before it reached our planet. As we boarded the human ship, the sense of camaraderie and shared purpose was palpable. The journey to the edge of our system was tense, but the training and preparation had instilled confidence in our team. When we finally located the Sorith vessel, we approached with caution, our new hybrid weapons at the ready. The battle that ensued was fierce. The Sorith ship was heavily armed, but their defenses were no match for our advanced weaponry. Our hybrid technology proved effective, and we quickly gained the upper hand. In the midst of the battle, I found myself face to face with a Sorith warrior. Their eyes glowed with a cold, calculating malice, but I stood my ground, drawing on the strength and resilience that Mercer had taught me. With a swift, decisive strike, I disabled the Sorith warrior, securing our victory. As the enemy ship disintegrated into a cloud of debris, a cheer erupted from our team. We had faced the Sorith and emerged victorious, not just through brute force, but through the strength of our unity and innovation. Returning to Tirithia, we were greeted as heroes. The successful mission bolstered our resolve and solidified the alliance between humans and Gorlaxians. As we celebrated, I couldn't help but feel a sense of pride and hope for the future. In the days that followed, we continued to strengthen our defenses and build our society. The lessons learned from the humans had transformed us, and we were no longer the isolated warriors of old. We were a united force, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As the stars shone brightly above Tirithia, I looked to the horizon with a newfound sense of purpose. The future was uncertain, but with our allies by our side, we were prepared to face it head-on. Our victory over the Sorith brought a newfound sense of security, but we knew this peace was fragile. We continued to bolster our defenses, integrating human technology into our systems, and preparing for the inevitable return of our enemies. Months passed, and the bond between Gorlaxians and humans grew stronger. Our societies exchanged knowledge and culture, creating a vibrant and dynamic alliance. Yet a sense of foreboding lingered, a reminder that the Sorith threat was ever present. One night, as we reviewed surveillance reports, an urgent message came through. Multiple Sorith ships had entered our system, far more than before. This was no raid, it was a full-scale invasion. The Council convened immediately. High Commander Thrak's voice was resolute. "We must defend Tirithia with everything we have." Captain Mercer stood beside him, his expression grim. We knew this day would come. Our combined forces are strong, but we must be strategic. We devised a plan to lure the Sorith into a trap. Using decoy signals, we directed them towards a narrow pass in the Cerulean Mountains, where our forces lay in wait. The Sorith fell for the bait, their ships descending into the trap. As they entered the pass, our hybrid weapons unleashed a devastating barrage. Energy beams sliced through their ranks, and explosions lit up the night sky. Despite our initial success, the Sorith's numbers were overwhelming. They pushed forward, their relentless advance threatening to break our lines. In the chaos, I saw a Sorith leader commanding from the rear. "Mercer, we need to take out their leader," I shouted over the din of battle. He nodded, and together we fought our way through the fray, our weapons cutting a path towards the enemy commander. As we closed in, the Sorith leader turned, a menacing grin on its face. "You will not prevail," it hissed. "We already have," I retorted, lunging forward. Our fight was intense, each blow resonating with the force of our respective strengths. But with Mercer's support, we overpowered the Sorith leader. As it fell, the coordination of their forces faltered. Seizing the moment, our troops pressed the attack. The Sorith, now leaderless and disorganized, began to retreat. Victory was within our grasp. With the last of the invaders driven back, a cheer rose from our ranks. We had defended our home once more, our unity and innovation proving decisive. As dawn broke, casting a warm glow over the battlefield, I stood with Mercer surveying the aftermath. "We did it," I said, a sense of relief washing over me. "Yes," he replied, his gaze steady. "But this is just the beginning. The Sorith will return, and we must remain vigilant." I nodded, understanding the truth of his words. Our alliance had given us strength, but the fight for our future was far from over. Together, we would face whatever challenges lay ahead, united in our resolve and strengthened by the bonds we had forged. The day a human showed me what it truly means to be strong had changed our world forever, and I knew that as long as we stood together, we could overcome any adversity. And so, under the rising sun, we began the next chapter of our journey, ready to face the unknown with courage and determination.